Hello and welcome to today's match between the Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Osseo-Fairchild Thunder. Lancers in their 4th game of the year had a quad earlier a week ago. Ended up going 1-2 in it, losing to McDonald, but beating we'll have a quick lineup check before we begin. Lancers will start off the serving here today. I did get a lineup card for the first time this year, so I do know players of Osseo, so I will not just be using numbers for them. And I've had practice with our JV team, so I should be able to get their names down fairly well. I did mess up on 2 players, and I'm sure you most know who they are, but it's all fixed now, so don't worry about it. Shamrock will start off the serving after the ref is in position. And we are ready to begin. Shamrock will start us off. JV starting off their conference play. Received and just touched over. Good spot and a missed slide saved by Reagan, as that was touched over by number 15, Hoffman. And now back to serve will be number 3, Lasky. Skimming along the top of the net, off the hands of Ullman and out of play. As Osseo knocks down an ace to give him a 2-0 lead early. Ullman on the slide, off her hands and out of play for back-to-back ace. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Thunder. As Lafke trying to get him on an early run. She'll head back, looking for her 3rd straight ace. Sliding save by Schoenbeck off her hands into the ground. 3 straight aces now for the Thunder. As the Lancers trying to get it going here in the first set. I've struggled on the return here early. They will readjust their positions. 4-0 lead. This one saved by Reagan. Set across for Schaller. Along the net, diving save, gets it back in the air. Sent back over Libero. And gonna make it over. Set up across for Schaller. She'll send it far to the back. And under the net, mishit it is Hoffman. As the Lancers get their first point of the game. Got the lead back down to 3, and it'll be number 8, Green, back to serve for the Lancers. To the back corner, and drops it down. Green gets an ace of her own. And the Lancers now within 2. First substitution of the night will be Milky in for Goodman. And Green will head back to serve once again. Out of play. Back-to-back aces for Green, and just like that, Lancers back within 1. Chance to tie it up here for Green. For the corner, diving save, gets it back in the air. Back to the Lancer side. Ullman will send it over. Diving save by Hoffman, gets it back over the net. Milky will send it across for Schaller. Off the top of the net and save. Sent back up into play, and touched over by Keyzone. Back across for Ullman. She'll just touch it over the net. Chance to set it up here. Off the top of the net, untouched by the Lancers, now before hits. Yeah, number 14, James, wanted to touch on it, ended up just hitting the top of that net. So 4 hits, ties this one up at 4. As Green heads back and gives the Lancers their first lead. Straight center to the libero, sent back across, along the net, and Lancers in the net. That was Milky. So Thunder gonna get it back up by 1, 5-4. As number 15 Hoffman will head back to serve for the Thunder. Offensive Schoenbeck, Reagan on the run, gonna get it back across, and Milky sends it over, diving, save back to the Lancers side, out of play. Good effort by the Lancers to get that one over. In a great spot, too, as the Lancers tie it back up by 5. Couple subs will enter in here. It'll be Williams and Eichstead in for Reagan and Ullman. And it'll be Williams back to serve for the Lancers. Game time at 5, trying to give them their first lead of the set. Set up, touch at the net by the Lancers, sent right back by Green. Lunging save, gonna get it back over. Set across for Eichstead. To the back, mistouch by Hoffman. And it's getting caught in their hands, doesn't go very far. No Thunder in the vicinity to get it. As the Lancers take their first lead of the set, 6-5. With Williams back to serve again. This one long, and the game ties up at 6. And it'll be James back to serve now for the Thunder, with Becker the libero exiting out and Minahay entering in. Trimmer things up on it. Set up back for Milky. A little low, she'll just bump it over. Set back, off the hands of Williams and out of play. That was Kisa who delivered the killing blow as the Lancers go down 7-6. The back, Williams is there. Set up for Schaller. Good touch over the net. Sliding save by James, can't get it back in the air. And the Lancers tied back up at 7. And it'll be number 5, Schaller back to serve. Right along the net, sent high to the corner. Back up in the air and over. Williams is there. Back across for Eichstead, and ended up hesitating at the last second. She and Shamrock got a little bit close and ended up calling off each other. So some miscommunication early. Sends the Lancers back down by 1, 8-7. With 21 Kiso back to serve. Received cleanly and sent back up for Shamrock. She'll bump it to the far back. Gonna set one across into the net. Was it touched? It was not. And the Lancers tie up at 8. Now it's Hooker who sent it into the net. As now Milky back to serve. And it'll be Wales entering in for Green. And that's it. Bit confused on the subs, all taken care of. Milky back to serve, trying to give him the lead once again. Good touch over the net, diving save by Milky back in the air, but too high for Schermbeck. As Osseo goes right back up by 1. And now it'll be Goodman entering back in for Milky. And Hunter back to serve. Down the line, received by Williams. Goodman sets one up for Schermbeck. To the back corner and handle. Back set for Hooker. Goes deep and just a tad far. And the Lancers tied right back up by 9. Very back and forth game here to start as Reagan and Ullman will enter for Eichstead and Williams. And it'll be Reagan back to serve. Straight center off the shoulder. Miscommunication, and one of the farthest Thunder away ended up coming up for it. That was Lafke. Got a piece of it, but not enough to get it back in the air as the Lancers go up 10-9. And off the top of the net, going right back to the Thunder, game tied at 10. And back to serve will be number 12, Dunahay. And a reserve as the horn sounded. Thought there was something wrong with the service. And the Lancer bookkeeper Maggie Sitto down to check it out. still number 12, Denhay back to serve. Siddle confirms I was the right server. Some miscommunication. Ullman ends up taking it and touched over by Goodman and drops down. So Lancers go up 11-10. And Siddle will return to her perch. Back to serve for the Lancers will be Schoenbeck. That corner handle going to be sent back up center. And Hooker will send it over to the back. Schoenbeck is there. Goodman across a little bit low on the run, and Charlotte will poke it over. Just touch back over Charlotte. Good anticipation by Reagan. Going to get it back, but no Lancer there to receive it. That's a miscommunication by Wales and Goodman. Has it drop into the floor onto the Lancer side. As the Thunder go back up by 1. And it'll be number 3, Lafke back to serve. Off the hands of Schoenbeck, a little high for Goodman. Tries to just touch it over, ended up going off the top of the net as the Thunder increase their lead. And into the net. Lance is going to get it right back. As Green enters back in for Wales, along with Milky for Goodman. And it'll be number 8, Green back to serve. Let them on a 3-0 run to get them closer after dropping the first 4 points. Had 2 aces in that run as well. We'll see what she does with it here. To the back, off the hands of Liberos, sent back into play, and sent to the back. Green wisely lets it go. A very nice call from her. 2 aces off that back line. Ends up making the right decision as Green is back to serve once again. And a timeout by the Thunder. Lancers take a 1-point lead, 13-12 here in the first set. After timeout, Lancers up 13-12 over at the C-team game. Lancers down 14-7 in their first set. As Green here for the Lancers trying to extend their lead, currently up by 1, 13-12. To the back, and that one goes long by a few feet. Still going to get it back, tied back up at 13. By Milky. Step back across for her. Good touch. Handled on a slide. Sent back for Hooker. Hooker goes cross court. Reagan gets a hand on it, but out of play. As the Thunder go up by 1, 14-13. And Hoffman heads back to serve again. Off of Milky to the back. Schoenbeck sends one back up. And Green sends one over. Nice spot there. Running save by Hoffman. Sent back for Hooker. Good touch. Green's there. A little bit too far in the pass. Good touch from Schaller to get it over the net. That one kind of no man's land. Schaller took initiative, went up and just poked it over. Ends up dropping down between a couple of Thunders. As Williams and Eichstead back in for Reagan and Ullman. Angeli Williams, who heads back to serve for the game, tied at 14. Down the line, sent very high. Running over to get there, not in time. Very close to the table. Ended up coming up a little bit short with Lafke. And Williams now with a 1-point lead, going to serve again. Goes more back corner, some miscommunication, sends in the wrong direction by Hooker. No Thunder there to get there as Williams knocks down an ace and brings the Lancers up by 2. Running save, going to set it across for James. That one down the line, and on the play. Lancers now with a 3-point lead, their largest of the night. And Williams will try to keep it going for the Lancers. On that line once again. Set across for James, so just touch it over. Green is there. Across for Eichstätt. Good spot, sliding save. Eichstätt gonna send one right back. Another save. Sent across to the back corner, and Williams is there. Green gonna send one across for Eichstätt. She'll send another one back. And once again, instead across for Hooker. Along the net, drops down. Nothing Lancers could do about it. Had the block up, ended up bouncing up off the net, right over them and into the middle of the court. As the Thunder bring it back within 2. And it'll be James back to serve. And miscommunication by Sherbeck, ran up on it, ran a little bit too far. Ended up stepping back, hoping Williams would take over. Williams not ready for it. Ends up going down for an ace as the Thunder now within 1. Diving save by Eichstätt. Can't get it high enough in the air as another ace drops down. And the Thunder tied back up by at 17. As the Lancers' 3-point lead just about gone. Good spot, running save by Schaller. Set across, a little bit too far. Schaller runs up on it, stays on the right side of the net. Milky sends it to the back. Good running save by James. Sent back across and bumped over. Sent back across for Green. Back across for Eichstätt. She'll go cross court as well. Diving save by Hoffman. Tip back up in the air and bumped over once again. Sherbeck sends one back. Bringing a set one across for Milky. Milky's going to bump one over. Handled cleanly by the Thunder. Big chance for them here. Across. Good touch to the back. Running save by Williams. Tip back to the center for Schaller. Schaller goes long. Off the hands of James. Back in the air and bumped over. Williams sends one back up. Milky sends one across. Schaller will bump it over. Longest volley of the day for both teams. Sent across for Williams. Touch across for Eichstätt. Too far. And the Thunder persist and now go up by 1. 18-17. Good volley from both teams. Both had very good saves. But the Thunder end up coming out on top as James riding a 4-0 run here. And ends it with a serve into the net. We're tied back up at 18. Schaller back to serve for the Lancers, trying to give them a lead once again. Sends it center, set across for James, back across for Sherbeck. Good touch to the back. And just a tad far as the Lancers go back down by 1, 19-18. And it'll be Kiesau back to serve. Down the line, received by Dollar. Green takes it over and sends it to Sherbeck. Sherbeck to the back, off the hands of Becker on the play. Sherbeck sends the last one long, this one right on point. As the Lancers tied back up at 19. Wales and Goodman enter in for Milky and Green.
4 for 10.
And number 4 Goodman back to serve, trying to get the Lancers a lead once again. Good spot, running safe. Gonna touch one over. Sherbeck sends it across. Over the net by Wales and knocks one down. And the Lancers back up by 1, 20-19. Coming to the end of the set, every point so crucial. And any even small run of 2 or 3 points, so big to the cause. Goodman sends it short, and we're tied back up at 20. And back to serve is going to be Hooker. Trying to give her team the lead now into the 20s. Received by Schaller. That one close to the Osseo side, off the top of the net. As the Thunder go back up by 1. Received by Schaller. Goodman going to bump one up for Sherbeck. Running save and ends up going off her hands to the floor. Hesitated at the last second. Saw Kiesau coming. As Hooker ends up shorting it. As Reagan and Ullman will enter for Williams and Eichstätt. Game tied at 21 once again. Big service coming up here for Reagan. Starting to get something going here. Just 4 points away from taking the first set. And into the net, going right back to the Thunder. 22-21. Thunder with a 1-point lead. by Schaller. Set across for Ullman. Good spot. Diving save. Nothing there. Off the hands of Hoffman and out of play. And the Lancers tied back up at 22. Last two Lancer serves have gone into the net, but they've responded big on the receive. Getting those points back, not letting them go up any more than one. It'll be Schermek back to serve for the Lancers. That one going to clear the net. Once he back to the side, Ullman sends it right back. Received and set across for Hoffman. Hoffman sends one way long. Out of bounds, even on the basketball court. As the Lancers go up 23-22, snuffed a big point coming here. Lancers chance to bring themselves 1 point away from getting the first set win. Thunder trying to tie it up. Schermek back to serve, pin spot middle. Across for James. James going to touch it over. Reagan's there. Up center for Ullman. To the back. Sent across for Hoffman, fading away. Tip at the net. Back in the air by Ullman. Set back up for Ullman, and she'll touch it over. Lancers hold on. Set back across for Hoffman again. Good touch over. Goodman back in the air. And along the net. Wales can't get it back up. And we're tied back up at 23. Another big deciding point here. Winner 1 point away from taking the first set. And would have a chance to serve for it. Received by Reagan center. Goodman across for Schaller. Along the net. And that one's going to drop down. A big shot for Schaller. And the Lancers 1 point away. 24-23, back to win it. Might be Green or Milky. Both will enter for Wales and Goodman. And it will be Green. And Green has had some good runs, especially one at the beginning to not let them get down too big early. Brought them back after dropping the first four. And now a chance to end it here. 24-23. Down the line, receives center by Becker. Back to the Lancer side. Almost going to touch it over. Received and set up center for James. James to the back. Schermek gets a piece of it. Diving saved by Milky. Schaller going to get it over. Lancers keep themselves alive. Back across for Kieshoff. Touched at the net. Ullman back in the air. Milky sends him back. And Reagan going to send it over down the line. Drops down. And the Lancers win the first set. 25-23. Largest lead was 4 by the Thunder. For the Lancers, it was 3. And for 92% of that game, it was a 1 point game, or it was tied. And the Lancers pull it out 25-23 in a big one. Second set will begin in about 3 minutes. And we are back for the second set. Lancers bring the first one in a close one, 25-23. And update from C team, they lost by 5 in their first set, 25-20. They're just about to start their second set, as are we, as back to serve will be number 3, Lafke for the Thunder. Lineups check out. And we are ready to begin the second set. One save by Schoenbeck, and Green misjudged it. And ends up not being able to get there in time. Couldn't quite get it back up in the air as the Thunder go up 1-0 early. Sends the second one into the net. We are tied at 1. Milky will enter in for Goodman. And so Lancers varsity will head into the locker room to get ready for their game. Following this one at 7:15. Coming back to serve for the Lancers. That one deep in, a little bit too far. Felix is off that back line as back-to-back drop serves from both teams. Gives us a 2-1 lead for the Thunder. And heading back to serve will be Hoffman. That one's in net. 3 straight drop serves, 2 from the Thunder, 1 from the Lancers. As 2 subs will enter, Williams and Eichstead in for Reagan and Ullman. And it'll be Williams back to serve for the Lancers. That one finds way over, dug up and sent up center for James. Save and sent across for Milky. Milky back bump over. Handle down the line. Back up, no one there for it. Now diving Kieshoff gets it over. Set across for Schaller. Touches the net, not a play. Little kill for Schaller. And the Lancers go up by 1. Williams back to serve once again. And into the net. Ties the game back up by 3 as James heads back to serve, and entering in is Dunaway for Becker. Lost one up and out of play. Another drop serve once again. That is 5 points off drop serves out of the 7 here in this second set. It'll be Schaller back to serve. Hasn't dropped a serve yet today, and we'll start here. As the diving save is back in the air, Kieshoff will send it over, received by Schaller. Set across for Schoenbeck. Received center by Becker, set across for Hooker. Cross court now to play, but the Lancers in the net. That was Milky once again for her second time in the net tonight. He's going to send it back to the Thunder with Kieshoff back to serve. By Schaller off the net, saved by Green, and Schaller back over. Sent up for Hooker. Goes cross court, and diving save by Schaller right over her hands. Williams tries to get it, goes under her hands, and drops down. As Hooker, a great placement there, brings her team up by 1, 5-4. And off the top of the net. Another drop serve sends it back to the Lancers, tied at 5. Gurgle and Goodman will enter for Green and Milky. Gurgle in for the first time tonight, and it'll be Goodman back to serve. And just send that one short. Going back to the Thunder. Back to serve is going to be Hooker. Received by Williams. Schaller sends one back up for Gurgle. Wasn't ready for it. Somehow saw it out of the top of her eyes. And ended up reacting late. And ends up being in the net. Thunder Club Dunahey. So it would have been a lift. If number 12 wouldn't have been in the net. So ends up going to the Lancers for the point regardless. And now Reagan and Ullman back in for Eichstätt and Williams. And it'll be Reagan back to serve. Game tied at 6. To the back, received by Becker off her hands. Rolling off into the bleachers. As Reagan drops down an ace and gives the Lancers a 1-point lead. Once again, Gateman back and forth. Largest lead of this set has been 2. Reagan trying to match that here. To the back corner, received by Hooker. Sent back up for Hoffman. Good touch across the net. Goodman is there. Schrambeck will touch one over. Received and set across. Touch to the back. Schaller will retreat. Goodman will set it up for Gergel. Received center by Hoffman. Hoffman from back row going to try to touch it over. Good spot. Diving saved by Schaller. Can't get underneath it. As the Thunder tie it back up at 7. And back to serve now is Dunahey. After that, 8-7 now. With that being the 11th drop serve from both teams combined. Schrambeck to serve for the Lancers, received by Hooker. Sent up for James a little bit low. Good touch over. Gergel trying to get a hand on it. Doesn't get enough fingers on it as it ends up rolling along her hand and back to the floor. Game ties back up at 8. And the ball has now gone under the bleachers. So they will grab a new one. Trying to figure out which new one to grab. There's another game ball, which will be sent over to Lafke. Dug up by Ullman, sent up center for Ullman. Received by Hooker and sent back. He's off, right in the hands of Schrambeck. Back row for Schrambeck, and bump to the back. Sent up center for James. That one goes long. Lancers get it right back once again as the teams continue to trade points. Now a 9-8 Lancer lead. As Green and Milky enter back in for Gergel and Goodman. And it'll be Green back to serve. Good spot off the hands of Hooker and can't be saved. An ace for Green. And the Lancers go up by 2. Their largest lead of the set here, 10-8. Green trying to extend it here, right off the top of the net. 12th drop serve of the game. And back to serve will be Hoffman. The ball from the bleachers has been retrieved, so we do still have an extra ball. And it'll be Hoffman back to serve. Received high by Schaller. Green sends him back up for Milky. And ends up sending it short. As the Thunder tie it up at 10. So we receive it back to the Thunder side. Touched over, Milky's there. Green will set one up for Milky, fading away off the net. Back to Lancers side, untouched by the Thunder. So 4 hits on the Lancers gives the Thunder a 1-point lead, riding a 3-0 run now. Trying to get some momentum as we hit the double digits. Some miscommunication. Still gets it back in the air, and Ullman gets it over. Back across and bumped over by Lafke. Bringing a send one back for Ullman. She'll just bump it to the back. That touch over blocked by Milky, back in the air. And 4 hits by the Thunder. And like I say, was not touched by Ullman there. Looked like it was. His sure hand might have been over the net. He said it hit the top of the net, which is why he called a 4-hit. As Williams back in, and we'll head back to serve. Game tied at 11. Received center by Becker. Across for Hooker. Blocked by Milky, back to the floor. And the Lancers lead it by 1. And Williams sends that one into the hands of Milky. As the game ties back up at 12. And it'll be James back to serve for the Thunder. Received by Williams. They're going to set one up for Eichstead. Good spot from Eichstead. Through the hands of Hoffman for a kill. As the Lancers going to get the serve back. Up by 1, 13-12. And it'll be Schaller back to serve. Off the hands of Hoffman. Hooker going to send one back into play. And bumped over. Received by Williams. Green going to bump it up. Now one finds its way over the net. Sent deep in retreat is Williams as it drops down on the line. Good awareness to catch her creeping up. Makes her pay as she sends it over the top. Ties this one back up at 13. With Kieshoff back to serve. Received by Schaller. Green sets it up for Schirmbeck. She'll send it over as it's sent back across for Hooker. Cross court received by Williams. Schaller back up. And Milky going to send one over. She wants to go by Hooker. Saved off the net, and Kieshoff will send one over. As he by Schaller. Big chance for Lancers here. Set back for Milky fading away. Sends one deep and received by Becker. Back across for Kieshoff. Schaller sends one up. Green trying to save off the net and can't. So the Thunder back up by 1 now. 14-13. Kieshoff back to serve, received by Williams. Schaller back up into play, and Green will bump it over. Receiving set back for Hooker. Blocked up the net, back to the Lancer side, back in the air, and Eichstead sends it over. This time for Immanuel. Running saved by Schaller, back in the air, and Green gets it over. Receiving touched over, back in the air by Schirmbeck off the net is Eichstead. And the Thunder now up by 2. Back to serve once again. Across for Schirmbeck. Sets it up for Milky. Milky, good spot. Jumping save. Back across and touched over. To the back. Too far. Caught Schaller creeping and made her pay over the top. As the Thunder match, or get their largest lead of the set. Up by 3, 16-13. Esau back to serve again. Off of Williams, Schaller on the run, gets back in the air. No chance for Eichstead. As the Thunder match the largest lead by either team tonight at 4, 17-13. Looking to force a winner-take-all third set. Esau back to serve again. Up by Eichstead, Schaller on the run, back in the air, but into the stands. As the Lancers drop down now by 5. I think we'll have timeout here fairly soon. As what started as a close back and forth set has now gone very one-sided. As the Thunder riding a 6-0 run, make it 7 on an ace at the feet of Williams, and there's the timeout by the Lancers, 19-13. Lancers down 6 with the Thunder, just 6 points away from taking the second set. After timeout, Lancers down 19-13, a 7-0 run for the Thunder. He's out trying to keep it going, fresh off the last ace. Bringing his own across for Schoenbeck. And mishit it, but ended up dropping down right along the net. Goes down as a lift as the Lancers break the run and bring themselves back within 5. As Gurgle enters back in for Green. And it'll be Milky back to serve. And Thunder get it right back, 20-14. And now Goodman can enter for Milky. And back to serve will be Hooker. To the back, received by Schaller. Goodman across for Schoenbeck. She'll bump one high down the line. Might have been out, but saved anyway. Back across for Hoffman. She'll bump it to the back. Schaller retreats. Gonna get it back up. Goodman across for Gurgle. Lunging save. Set back row for Hooker fading away. And saved by Schaller. Back up for Schoenbeck. Right to the hands of Pisau. Good touch across. And Lancers in the net. Might not have mattered anyway, as a diving save wasn't a good possession for any other Lancer to get it. 21-14 now, as the Thunder are just 4 points away from taking the second set. And Hooker back to serve. Repeated by Schaller. Set back up for Schoenbeck. To the back, received cleanly by Hooker. Bump back up for Hoffman. Dug up by Schaller. Back for Williams. Couldn't change direction in time, as the Lancers go down by 8. Back received by Williams. Along the net. Gurgle couldn't save it. As the Lancers go down by 9 now, 23-14. An 11-1 run since the score was 13-12. As that one drops on the line, make it 12-1. And the Thunder have a chance to take complete control of the second half of this set and finish it off and force a third. 24-14 the current score. Hooker back to win it. Gurgle hesitates, gets it back in the air, back up for Schaller. She'll send it to the back. Good spot. Hooker sends an arm out, but in no position for anyone else to get it. As the Lancers bring themselves back within 9.
9-14, go ahead. 18-1.
Reagan back in along with Ullman for Williams and Eichstead. And it'll be Reagan back to serve. Going to need 9 straight to keep this one going. Received by Beckert. Just touched over. Schaller's there. Goodman will set it up for Gurgle. To the back. Sends it back up as Hooker. Right across for Hoffman along the net. That one's going to drop down. That'll do it. A 12-2 run to end it. From 13-12, the Lancers had a 1-point lead. Ends 25-15. As they struggle in the second half of that set, we will go to a third set, winner take all, to 15 after Lancers took the first one 25-23, lost the second 25-15, and we'll be back in 3 for the final set. And we are back for the third and final set. Lancers winning the first one 25-23 in a close one, losing the second one 25-15, as they will try to take the third set win and their second game win of the year and get their record back to 500 at 2-2. Starting out the serving will be the Lancers, and it'll be Schoenbeck back to do it. Saved, and it just cuts one over, and the Lancers caught looking and drops down in between four of them as the Thunder strike first and go up by one. And it'll be Lafke back to serve for the Thunder here in the third set. Trying to extend their 1-0 lead. And Reagan caught unaware, thought Ullman was going to take it. Ended up hitting her right in the hands, couldn't get her hands ready in time. Ends up going down as an ace for a 2-0 lead. Goes right back to her, this time off her shoulder. Ullman sends him back into play and touched over by Green. Set back up center for James. Blocked at the net by Ullman. And the Lancers bring themselves within one. Ullman's had a few blocks on the night. Might have been her cleanest and biggest one there. As Green heads back to serve. Received by Becker. Sliding save, gets it back in the air and touch to the back. Reagan retreats. Green gonna touch over. Good spot from Green. Good read on it. Drops it down in between a few of them. And she'll tie this one up at 2. Goodman exit. Milky will enter. And it'll be Green back to serve once again, this time for the lead. And might be another ace. Diving save. Sends it back. And that one getting it over. Milky sends one quickly for Schaller. Knocks her off her feet, sent back in the air by Becker at the net. Schaller sends one back. Lancers net play very nice here in this set by Schaller and by Ullman. And Green keeping the serves going 3-2. And drops down an ace off the hands of Hooker. 4-0 run for the Lancers, and they're up by 2. Sixth ace for Green tonight. Also send it right back to Hooker. Hooker will receive it cleanly. Good touch over. Reagan sends it back in the air, and Milky gonna get one over. Received by Becker. Sent up back row for Hooker. Along the net, saved by Milky. Green will send one up for Schaller. So this moment for the back. Good spot from Green. Schaller. Saved by Hooker. Sent up for Keesaw. She'll just touch it over. Green in position. Set up for Ullman. And off the hands of Hoffman, diving save! Becker can't quite get it over. And the Lancers go up by 3. And Green keeps the 5-0 run going for the Lancers. The back gets it up in the air. Tipped up for Keesaw. Tipped to the net and drops down in between Schoenbeck and Reagan. The run ends, but the Lancers maintain a 2-point lead, 5-3. And hitting back to serve will be Hoffman. Green sends one across for Milky. Good spot over the hands of Hoffman. Becker gets a piece of it, but not enough, and the Lancers get it right back, 6-3. As Eichstead enters in for Reagan, and Williams in for Ullman, with Williams back to serve. Had a nice run in that last set, knocking down 4 straight. See what she'll do with it here. Losing save, gets it back in the air, set back across for Hooker, has to readjust, still gets it over, low receive, cleaned by Williams. Green back across for Eichstead. Along the net, diving save, nothing there. As Eichstead gets the kill, sending the Lancers up by 4. And a timeout by the Thunder. Lancers coming out firing here in the third set. 7-3, up by 4. And a timeout by the Thunder. Back from the timeout. Lancers up 7-3. Williams still back serving. As Lancers' largest lead of the night was 4. It's currently 4 now. And an ace for Williams. Bouncing twice off the hands of Hoffman and to the floor. Lancers now up 5 for their largest lead. Williams again trying to keep a firm hold on this game. Sent across, touched across, and touched over. Green back in the air. Schuller sets it up for Eichstead. And Eichstead finishes it off. Knocks Lafke to the floor as it tips off into the back. And the Lancers now lead it by 6. And entering back into the gym is the Lancers varsity team getting ready for their game. As we'll be ready to take the floor soon with the game starting at 7:15. Williams back to serve for the Lancers up by 6, looking for double digits here. Running save, set across for Hooker. She'll go cross court, back in the air by Schoenbeck. Green sends it up for Eichstead. She'll touch it over, stays on her side of the net, received by Hooker. Back across for James. James to the backside. Schoenbeck is there, set up for Eichstead again. Diving save, sends one back up, and touched over by Kiesau. Schoenbeck once again receives it. Green heads back to send it up for Schuller this time. Good spot from Schuller, jumping save, diving save, and sent across. Green, back for Milky fading away, and that'll be 4 hits. Thunder gonna get it back, now 9-4. And back to serve will be James. Get it right back. And they're up by 6, 10-4. And it'll be Schuller back to serve. And that one heads into the net. 10-5, the Thunder get it right back. Kiesau back to serve. Received by Williams, back to the Thunder side, touched right back, tipped in the air, and Schoenbeck gets it over. Center back again, Green back in the air to the back. Williams something back up this time for Milky. Milky tries to touch it over and missed it. And the Thunder now back within 4. Kiesau led them on a big run toward the end of that second set when it was 13-12. Ended up getting them up 19-13, so a 7-0 run. Trying to do that again here. This is a block at the net by Lafke. And the Thunder creeping ever closer, now 10-7. Kiesau's got a 4-0 run now. As this one goes to Schuller. Milky racing back, can't get it back in the air. And a 5-0 run brings them within 2. Lancer C team lost the second set 25-20 as another ace for Lafke brings them within 1, and they're currently winning the third set 12-10 as that game comes to close to its conclusion. Score here 10-9 now off of Lafke's ace, looking to tie it up here and will not, sends it to the net instead. So Lancers maintain a 2-point lead, 9-11, which so happens to be the date today. As Green enters in for Wales and Milky heads back to serve. Back received by Becker, sent up for Hooker, she'll just throw it to the back. Schuller is there, Milky across for Wales. She'll send it over to Becker. Sent right back for Hooker and she'll miss. Took a big swing at it, comes up empty, and the Lancers now with it up by 3. And it's Milky back to serve once again. Straight center for Becker. Good touch over, Milky's there. Wales back for Milky. Over to Kiesau, can't get it far enough. Diving save off into the bleachers by Lafke. And the Lancers go up 4-13-9. And it's Milky back to serve once again. Right to Becker. Touched over by Lafke. Schirmbeck sends it right back. Lafke sends it right back. Received by Williams. Across for Schirmbeck. Off and back in the air. Back across for Hooker. Hooker along the net. Wales sends it back up. Milky up for Schirmbeck. Good touch. Diving save. Can't get back in the air. Lancers up by 14-9. Great run going from Milky, trying to keep it going here. Right up Becker once again. Hoffman sends him back. Can't be touched over. And the Lancers now up 15-9. Right to James. Across the left, she'll touch it over. And Eichstead went for it off her hands into the Lancer bench. So the run ends, but not before the Lancers go up by 5, 15-10. Solid lead from here. In the middle of this third set, Goodman entering in for Milky, who gets a well-deserved break after her long run of serves. And back to serve for the Thunder will be Hooker, trying to bring themselves closer in this game after dropping now down by 5. Goodman will set one up for Wales. And that'll be a lift on the Thunder. Right in between a pack of them. And the Lancers get it right back up by 6. Reagan and Ullman enter in for Eichstead and Williams. And it'll be Reagan back to serve. Lancers up 6. Trying to take command into this game and finish it out. Down the line, received by James. Back up, back row for Kiesau. Right at Reagan. Back up for Ullman. Good touch, running save, can't get it back in the air. And the Lancers go up 7. Reagan will continue to serve. Received by James. Hooker sends one up. And just touched over by Dunaway. Goodman across for Ullman. Ullman in the back corner and drops it down. A nice kill for Ullman. And the Lancers go up by 8. And a timeout by the Thunder. Lancers commanding lead just 7 points away from taking set 3. (18-10). Lancers up by 8 here in this third set. Ullman, Reagan continuing to serve. Touches up center for Kiesau. Running save by Schaller. Can't get it back in the air. The Thunder bring themselves back within 7. So the first game very close, back and forth the whole way. Lancers end up winning it by 2. Second game, Thunder going to run at around the 13-12 mark. And now the Lancers going on a run at around the 8-9 mark. As Goodman sets one across for Ullman. To the back, received by Hooker. Set up center for James. Good touch. But in the net. So the Lancers get it right back. Back up by 8. And they're maintaining a safe distance here as we head almost into the 20s. Schirmbeck looking for it here. Received by Donahue. Back across for Hoffman. Fading away down the line. Received by Schaller. Goodman will set it back up for Schaller. Off the net. Touch back in the air. Back up center. To the back. Too far. Had a lot of backspin on it. Started fading back in, but just got out by an inch or 2. And the Lancers hit the 20s up 9. Schirmbeck just 5 points away from taking the third set and the game. To the back. Takes a touch. His Hooker, and it goes down as an ace. That one was about to sail out by a few inches. Hooker took the touch, Schirmbeck gets the ace, and the Lancers go up 10, the largest lead for either team tonight. Off the hands of Hooker. Sends one back along the net. Going to touch it over. The else is there. Set back up for Ullman. She'll send one back over the net. Back row for Hooker. Sends one out of play off toward the wall as it goes off of Green's hands. And the Thunder now bring it back with a 9. Something safe, back up, gets it over the Thunder's side. Touch back and bumped over. Goodman across for Schaller. Good spot. Touch back up and gets it over, dropping down to the Lancers side. Thunder, good reaction time on both of those points as they bring themselves now back within 8. Lafke will continue to serve. And into the net. Lancers now back up by 9, just 3 points away. Green and Milky enter for Wales and Goodman. And it'll be Green back to serve. Has had a few 3-4 point runs on the day. Just needs 3 here to end this one out. Good touch over the net. Green is there. Reagan sends one back, and Milky will back bump it over. Set back for Kiesau. Tip of the net. Reagan is there to the pass. Not quite high enough. Ends up going right past Milky as the Thunder get it right back with an 8. And it's Hoffman back to serve. To the back, Schirmbeck takes it. Diving save by Green, and can't get it back in the air. And the Thunder bring it within 7. Not going down quietly. They've got a few points to try to make a comeback. That's Hoffman serving again. Schaller back in the air, close to the net. Green sends it back off the net, and Reagan sends it over. Saved and set across for Hooker. Dug up by Reagan, back across for Schaller and into the net. And the game now within 6. Diving save by Reagan, back in the air, back across for Milky, and she'll miss. And it's now a 5-point game. Coach Art thinking about timeout, has a few more points to spare. Doesn't want to get too close here. Lancers right on the verge of winning it. Thunder trying to build some momentum back. Hoffman again. Schirmbeck gets it up. Back across for Milky, and she'll just set it over. Back for Lafke along the net. Just hard enough as it rolls right down. And the game now within 4. Thunder trying to make it interesting toward the end here after going down by as many as 10. Now within 4, still serving strong is Hoffman. To the back corner, Schirmbeck can let it go. And that one dropped down to the line for an ace. Does not pay off, and it's now a 3-point game. As lots of Lancer fans join, Mr. Michael Lang, the 12th man himself, brought a whole host of Lancers. As Hoffman heads back, trying to hit the 20s. Received by Milky. Reagan sends one back up to Schaller to back bump it over, and she does. Back across for Hooker. Blocked at the net by Milky! And the Lancers go up 4. Reagan and Ullman back out with Eichstein and Williams entering. Williams back to serve, just needs 2 to end this one out and give the Lancers another win. Off the hands of Hooker and out of play. An ace for Williams, and the Lancers just 1 point away. Williams to win the first set for the Lancers and give them the win here today. To the back corner. Well out of play, sent back in by Kiesau. Can he get over? Yes, it can from Lafke. Looking back across for Green. Down the line and save. Set back up for Hooker. Along the net drops it down. Regardless, Lancers in the nets. That was Milky again, and the Thunder keep themselves alive. Need 4 straight to force extra points here in the third set. 24-20. Back to do it will be James. High to the back, Williams off her hand, Charlotte saves it, gets it back into play, Green to get it over, and she will. Sent back for Hooker into the net, and the Lancers get the win. 25-23, 25-15, and 25-20. The Lancers win it in 3, improved to 2-2 on the year, with varsity coming up now in 20 minutes at 7:15. Lancers' first conference game of the year have a 3-2 record after coming in 3rd in the Black River Falls tournament on Saturday. They will try to keep their winning record and get a winning record for conference. Lancers win it 2-1 here, improve to 2-2 on the year. Varsity coming up next.